Okay, so this story all takes off back in my grade 7 year. And when I was in grade 7, I won't lie to you, I had a crazy addiction. I had an addiction to beating my eggplant. And this got even worse and worse over, the time of me going through that year. But basically, this story is about how I ended up getting an addiction to beating my meat. But obviously, before we talk about this story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, if you guys have not already, make sure you guys join me live on Twitch, streaming and telling crazy stories just like this one. Other than that, let's just jump straight into this embarrassing story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a very embarrassing story. So this story all starts off back in my grade 7 year. Now in grade 7, I won't lie to you. Around this time, I was hitting puberty at its full peak. Like, it was hitting me like a rock non-stop. And I remember I really wasn't good at, handling the situation where I would get bricked up. Like, yes, I knew that, I would get bricked, but to be honest, I never actually just got it when I didn't want to get it, if that makes any sense. But basically, I remember one time, it was a Friday and I was in my math class, and basically our teacher was teaching us something with with squares and shapes and stuff, and basically trigonometry. If you guys know what that is, then good for you. You guys are studying school, but I don't know. I totally forgot what it was, but I think it was trigonometry, and she was basically showing us how to calculate a triangle. And I remember out of nowhere, and I'm not joking when I say this, but basically I remember I was staring at the whiteboard, just looking at it, staring it down, and then I remember randomly, after looking at a triangle for so long, I ended up getting bricked. I don't know how. I was just looking at shapes. I was looking at a triangle, and I got bricked out of nowhere. Now at this point, I was actually concerned with myself. I'm thinking, yo, what is going on? Why did I get one? What am I attracted to? And I started looking around, and I realized that none of the girls in my classroom I was attracted to, and the whole time I was just focusing on school. So why in the world would I get bricked randomly? Now at this moment, I was concerned, and I was actually kind of worried about myself, thinking, okay, something's wrong. I need to figure this out. What is going on with me? So what I decided to do was basically raise my hands up and say, can I go to the bathroom, please? And I stood up and I ran to the bathroom. When I got to the bathroom, I remember I sat there kind of panicking, thinking, yo, what is going on with me? Why am I, all of a sudden bricked up? And then I decided that, maybe I should text my mom and say that I want to go see the family doctor. Now, my mom at this time would always see the doctor every week. I'm not going to say why, because that's personal family stuff, but, she was well known with, the doctors and stuff. So I remember basically I ended up basically going to the doctor with her literally the next day on a Saturday. And when I went with her, I remember I decided to go see my family doctor. And when I sat down with her, I sat down and told her, hey, I have a question. So I randomly got bricked in the middle of class, but I wasn't looking at anything bad. It's just I was just looking at shapes and it just happened. My doctor looks at me and ends up telling me that this was normal for a teenager. She ended up telling me, you're growing into a man and obviously you're hitting puberty. You'll realize that random moments in your life, you'll have certain arousal and you will just have to handle it. And don't be afraid to, beat your meat because, well, it's in a way it's healthy for you and your body. I ended up looking at her very weirdly because obviously, what kind of doctor tells you that you should beat your meat? It doesn't make sense. But obviously when I actually put research into it, actually started to make sense. But I remember from there, I was really happy that, this was a normal thing to happen to teenagers. So I remember that same day when I went home after seeing the doctor, I ended up going right to my bedroom and I did everything I could with this. Yeah, this was my best friend for that weekend. I have no idea how, but I managed to beat my meat over 40 times that weekend, which was very crazy and very scary. But I will say this much. Back when I was a kid, I never at that age was allowed to watch the Devil's Hub. So I ended up using Grand Theft Auto 5's amazing unicorn place to basically arouse myself. So I guess you guys could imagine me basically staring at a monitor. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to talk about it, but you guys get what I mean. I remember from there, I would always do that. And it got to a point where one time there was my mom that walked in, which you guys could go check out that video if you want to. But then I remember later on that Monday, it was school. And I went to school basically thinking that I handle myself. I ended up, taking it all out of my system, which is not a thing, by the way. Anyways, I remember from there, I ended up basically going to all my classes and I didn't get bricked up at all. I thought I was in full control until social studies came up. Now, I remember I went to socials class and basically we got handed our textbooks for socials, and basically one thing led to another. I ended up sitting down, going through the textbook to see what we were learning, and I ended up going through a page that had the Mona Lisa on it. Now, I think everyone knows what the Mona Lisa Lisa is, it's that really old, like, Leonardo da Vinci painting that's, like, super popular and for some reason super expensive for absolutely no reason. Like, if the painting was a picture of a man, maybe it'd be more expensive. I have no idea. Like, I think a picture of Andrew Tate would go for more. Sorry. Okay, I'm getting out of hand. That sounded sexist. Sorry. Going on, though. Anyways, I remember basically from there, I ended up staring at this photo of Mona Lisa, and I was super weirded out to the point where I actually ended up getting bricked up. Now, I had no idea why I got bricked up. I ended up looking down at my pants, and I'm like, yo, what? Seriously? And from there, I really just wanted to handle it. But how was I going to handle it if I was at school? So I remember I ended up just standing up and actually just leaving the classroom. I didn't put my hand up, nothing. I just left the classroom, and my teacher ended up sending my friend to go and get me and see what's wrong. As I was walking down the hallway, freaking out, my friend ended up coming up to me saying, yo, bro, like, you good? Like, the teacher's wondering why you just left like that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I have a situation. And from there, he ended up looking down and looking at my legs and what was between my legs, and he realized that I was bricked. If you guys are wondering how he knew, I was wearing sweatpants that day. Anyways, going on, I remember he ended up looking at me saying, yo, bro, just go to the bathroom and just handle it. Like, what the hell? I can't. What am I supposed to handle it to? The toilet seat? Do you not have like any, like, a phone that you could just, like, you know, enjoy yourself to? I have a phone, but like, I don't have access to like those websites. Okay, bro, you know what? Why don't you just use my phone, go to the bathroom, handle your business, and just come back to class. I ended up staring at him really weirdly because what kind of friend hands you a phone for you to use the Devil's Hub on? Like, it made no sense. But basically, I ended up taking his phone and I ended up going to the bathroom and I ended up basically, I ended up watching the Devil's Hub. But to be honest, I have no idea like how to navigate that website back when I was in grade 7. So I ended up watching something with grannies in it. And yeah, let's just say I was in there for longer than 2 hours. But afterwards, when I finally ended up doing the Devil's Cream, I ended up getting up and finally going back to the classroom. And class was already over. My teacher basically gave me the assignments I missed and I got in serious trouble. And by serious, I mean serious trouble by my parents that day. And to be honest, I ended up telling them I injured myself, but I just didn't say where. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.